Hi, this is Nikki. I just wanted to quickly show you this little journal I've made for a swap on Journal Junkies on Facebook. It was to make an envelope journal that was bird themed. With two choices, vintage or sort of freestyle, and I picked vintage. And it was an envelope journal, an envelope folded in half, and it has got one signature. This one's mine. I've covered the envelope with Bo Bunny paper, and it's the one with the bird cage on. And the orientation of the bird cage was so that when it was on the paper, when it was on the book, it's obviously on the back of my journal. But I like that, so that's okay. This is an image I've cut out from some Paper Mania paper I've used, and then on the front cover, I've used. This I've cut out from some Simple Stories Recollections paper. I've used a tiny little heart button. I don't know if you see, it's a pale green polka dot, and just some green baker's twine. This is a wood veneer of a bird. And for my main image, I've used a Cavallini postcard, a vintage postcard, and I've made it so it's like a tuck spot on the front cover, and behind it I have a tag which was given to me. I believe it's a digital download kit, and somebody sent it to me, and it's so pretty. And what I've done is I've just attached a little feather charm to it, a little silver charm, just to finish it off. Behind where the tuck spot is, because if the person who gets it doesn't like the tuck spot, I was thinking if they removed it, I still wanted the cover to look pretty. So this page here is from a bird spotting book, with a lovely bird on it, and the book was from the 60s, and I just thought they went so well. They're both bunting birds, so I thought that was quite sweet to have them together. And then behind that I've got some vintage music paper. I've made a closure here with a large wooden button and attached some crochet trim to it. And then on the inside, I've covered it with the same paper, and I've attached a little flower button to this side just to neaten off this side of it. And all these type of images are from the Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. I bought a very beaten up, bashed up copy at a car boot for about 20p, and which I've cut up to take the images out of. And so I've used a lot of those through this journal. Here I've made a pocket with one of those images. And again, this is from a different digital kit that somebody sent me. It's like a little postcard with birds' eggs on, so I thought that was pretty there. And then here, this was from the same series, the Diary of a Edwardian Lady. They did a postcard set as well, and this is the front cover from the postcard set, which I've made into a little tag. The front page, the first page then in my book, is one from the diary, and it's of a beautiful robin and some snowdrops and catkins, and it's just such a delightful picture. And then on the back of it you've got the writing from the diary, which again is so beautiful. Here I've used a vintage playing card, which I've made a little tuck spot with, and there's just a piece of coffee dyed scrapbook paper there. All the paper, the copy paper is either coffee dyed or Kool-Aid dyed, and it's the black cherry Kool-Aid. This is actually some note paper that I must have had for over 30 years, so it's got this beautiful yellowing colour to it. So I've used some of that, and this is just a little bird I've cut out from some Tilda scrapbooking paper. I've got a scrap left, and there was this beautiful image, so I just trimmed around it. Next page is some vellum from the Tim Holtz vellum pad. So beautiful that I just can't bring myself to stick anything on it, and I always try and use it where it's in front of a plain piece of paper, so you get the full effect of the beautiful images on it. So this is from Paper Mania, scrapbook paper, and it was sort of all flora and fauna and so I've used bits of that as I've gone through the book. And I had the 12 by 12 paper, so some pages are just, you know, offcuts of the bigger pages. And here's some of the leaves on the opposite, on the back of the page. This is a journaling spot from the same series by Paper Mania, and I've just put that onto this Prima paper, which I've made into a double-sided pocket. And here it opens this way, and inside I've got a coffee dyed index card and a Prima actually journaling card that have got a beautiful bird in a bird cage, and it's just pink on the back, and so that secretly tucks into that tuck spot, so you've got somewhere secret to hide things. The back of there, this is some packaging from some scrapbook paper, and it was just too pretty to not to use, really. It's slightly glittered, and as you can see, the birds are sort of glossy. So I've made that a little tiny pocket, and in there I've got a little tiny journaling spot from the Recollections collection, and this is just a plain card, B is for birds, and so I've just took that in there too. This was from a very, very old book of poetry I got. I think, again, I picked it up at a car boot. But I just love some of the pictures in it. They're all these type of pictures. And this one here is from the 10th century, as you see. And it's called Cuckoo Song. And then on the back here, look, it's got a picture of the cuckoo flying into the nest. So that was just made for this book. Here's some more offcut of scrapbook paper, and again I've made a tag here out of the cover of that scrapbook paper, and that just neatly tucks into there. More of that Paper Mania paper, and this again from the Edwardian diary of a country diary of an Edwardian lady, and this is about the song thrush, and so I folded the page over. And made another little spot to put to tuck inside this index card, make it sort of a little secret place, and then just some plain paper. This was the other bit of the vellum, and this has got the bird's eggs on it. And what I've done, that's my middle of my signature, so I've folded it up, sealed it at this end, and then sealed it with some washi tape here that's just got this gold on it, which I think sort of goes nicely with the imagery. And here is a little bird wood veneer I've put on there, and in here I've just put a little tag and a index card. This is some offcut of scrapbook paper, and I've just decorated it. And this here's a page from a Beatrix Potter children's book, and it's called Once I Saw a Little Bird Come Hop Hop Hop, and so I've made that into sort of a secret pocket. So I've decorated the page behind it. I made this flap to go over, and then inside I've got room for a little index card there, sort of a very secret spot to tuck little things, which I thought, you know, it's different, unusual. And then I've got some more images of the birds from Paper Mania. There's the other side of the Bo Bunny scrapbook paper. This was some copy paper I left in the coffee overnight, and it's quite dark, which I really like. And then I've attached some coffee dyed ledger paper and made a tuck spot here for a postcard, and then a little image here of a bird, which I've made a little pocket, and I've got a little journaling card in there. And I found these at a charity shop a week or so ago, little tiny playing cards, but oh, I've dropped it now. But the image on the back is such a pretty picture of a little bird. I don't know if you can see that. It's so pretty. So I've took one of those in as well for the person who gets it. I love playing cards. I've got lots of different playing cards. So here's the other side with the Prima paper. And I've got here a little copy of a vintage ABC card, and this is N for Nest. And I've also got some of these beautiful little paper clips that are bird shaped, so I've attached it with that, and I've just backed it with just some plain craft card, so that people can use it as a, you know, to write something. Again, in this pocket I've got a couple of index cards, coffee dyed, just to go in there, and they fit in, you know, really nicely there. Some more of the Paper Mania paper, different bird images. The other side now of the vellum, the Tim Holtz vellum, and this has got an advert for a book about nests and eggs in it, familiar birds, which again, just love. This is a piece of washi tape I've got that's got different birds on it, and so I've made it into just a little pull for this piece of lined paper. And then this is an offcut of some Paper Mania paper that I've just lined this piece of coffee paper with. Then in the back I've got a little doily, made another pocket here, and I've just tucked in some die cuts of feathers, which I thought the person who gets it could use. And this is a copy of a vintage picture frame that's got birds on it, so I've just tucked those in. And then in the back of the envelope, there's the flap. I've put happiness is in the journey, not the destination, and it's got the beautiful birds on it. And then inside I've just tucked in a postcard which came from the Country Diary series that has got some beautiful bird images on it. So that's my entry for the swap. Please feel free to ask any questions or leave any comments, and I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you. Bye bye.